Aici mă budava. Și budava različitih adret. Sakrifikoš veter dit kalbeš burjeve.
Well, good morning. We had an interesting morning. Well, we've had
Oh my goodness.
an interesting
A
3
long-
days.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, it was a whole.
So you can stay in Albania for 3 months, visa free, for many of the Western countries, except for the United States, can stay 1 year. But everyone who wants to stay longer than that period must apply within the very first 30 days for residency. There is no visa extensions, there's no other process. And it requires quite a bit, and everything's complex. And you'll learn that about Albania. Nothing is that easy. There's a lot of red tape sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So we went to the police station to get fingerprinted because we're supposed to do a background check in Canada. They
Yeah.
said go to a local authority, get your fingerprints done, and
then
then send them to an authorized company in Canada that is allowed to turn them into digital format to send them to the RCMP, which is our federal police, to do a background check on us. And
A lot of hoops that we
yeah.
have to
And
go
plus,
through.
again, you have 30 days from the time you arrived, and we only have 9 days left today. But we did try to start it 2 days ago. So we showed up first day, and they had no idea what they're talking about.
Of course, no.
Nobody even knew. They were like, what? We fingerprint
And
you? Why would we
usually-
fingerprint you?
Usually they fingerprint the citizens once they get their passports. So they were like, don't you already have your fingerprints done?
Right.
But that's not how it works in Canada. So.
No. And in Canada, if you're ever fingerprinted and you haven't committed a crime, they must, by law, destroy your fingerprints after the check is done. So even after all this, Canada will destroy our fingerprints
Yeah.
after they check us. So that's interesting. Okay, so then they say, come back tomorrow. The passport girl will be here, and she can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
So we showed up the next day, 9 a.m., and she's getting on the phone and trying to figure it out because she's like, no idea what
Yeah,
we're
she's
talking
never done
about.
it before, so she is as confused as we are with this process.
But eventually we find out that the fingerprint guy, he does do it, and that we can return again 9 a.m. today.
And it worked this time.
But the process is still very long. We were there for a long time.
It's a little
and-
more tedious than like troublesome. I think.
Exactly. No ink, you just use digital.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And then we go to the bank. Takes forever. They have to type out a book basically to pay the bills of the fingerprinting. Bring it back. Go see the same people. They bring you down to the cashier, show the receipts, and they handed them to us.
And the price for the fingerprints were like $12 Canadian.
Yeah, it worked out because
1,200.
if you're not a resident, you have to pay a fee at the bank to use the bank because you don't have an account.
Yeah, so that was the initial cost, and then plus the bank cost.
The bank charged on top of that. So it was about $35 for the two of us.
Wow.
Total
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
it done. And now, we got to wait until it's morning in Canada, which is 3:30 this afternoon. It'll be 9 a.m. tomorrow or 9:30, something like that. And we'll contact one of the agencies we're allowed to send it to. We're supposed to let them know and then find out what they want us to send with it. Then go to DHL, courier it to Canada, have them make it digital, have them send it to the RCMP. So
a lot of steps left.
yeah, there's
Oh,
6
boy.
steps in total to getting the criminal background check. We're gonna record as we go through, I guess, because I know there's more. Like we even have to hire a translator at one point and all this. There's gonna be a lot of stuff.
Wow.
This is just the background check. So start it as soon as possible. If you're considering staying longer than the 3 months that are allowed,
Yeah.
this is a long process because then immigration process is a whole other process. So, yeah, we're learning.
Yeah.
But
as
we
go.
thought this would be useful for others that might want to get citizenship or not citizenship, get residency and stay longer than that period and wondering how they go about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the business office is right here, right beside the water. One person at a time, and they have limited hours. We came yesterday, but it was a banking holiday on a Thursday, so they were not open. Today is our final day. It's the 30th day since we've been here. And we are trying to get a bunch of things done because every day it's like maybe tomorrow. So we are out of time. I'm pretty sure we'll have enough to submit it. Well, it's pretty windy out, but we have insurance now. That took about an hour. I fell asleep for a little bit. But now we have health insurance for the next year here in Albania. Now we have to go find an accountant who's going to make the changes and everything we need for the business, and then go to the job center. Accountant's not in today, so it's now pushed to 8:30 tomorrow morning. But our 30 days is okay because they had a bank holiday or government holiday yesterday, so it's actually tomorrow, not today. Interesting. Today is day 13 of our process of getting residency. And a lot of people have been asking questions. A lot of people are like, can we get an update? We want to come to Albania. We really need to know now if it's possible. So we're not quite done, but we're mostly done.
Yeah, we're at like the final stretch of things.
Right. And there's a big lesson you got to learn. And that is, there's one word twice, that is used here quite often and for very good reason. And that is
Avash, avash.
Avash, avash. That means like soon, sort of. It's not tomorrow. They have a word for tomorrow, but it's later, that kind of thing. And yeah, we're learning that really quick. You can show up at somebody that says, okay, I'm in my office from 10 to 4. You will wait at 10 o'clock until 4, and then they just don't show up.
Yeah.
And so, as simple as the process might seem on the outside, it certainly is not. You may spend 6 hours just going and getting 1 or 2 things done, and that you would imagine that you could do online in 5 minutes, but that's not a thing here. They do have e-Albania, but everything else that you put into e-Albania must be done manually.
Yeah.
So we got, right off the bat, we were given these forms, and we got these directly from immigration officer for this area. And the forms are, like you would imagine any legal forms, pretty extensive. You'll notice ours are all blank, and that is because we chose in the end for 90 euros to hire somebody who's an expert in this stuff to register us on e-Albania and do all our paperwork.
Yeah.
You still have to go and collect all your paperwork for her to take care of it all, but you don't have to wade through all these forms. This form, luckily, is in English and in Albanian, so you could read this, no problem. But the checklists they give you saying, hey, here's the following things you need, they're entirely in Albanian. So you got to use your Google Translate.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have a lot of local help here. And Gazi, who we mention all the time, has been helping us out. Albano has been helping us out. And
without their help, honestly, we would have given up because it's quite a nightmare.
And other expats that we've spoken to said that
exactly.
they gave up. They tried this process, but they said it was too complicated. The key, though, is before you leave, go and start the process right away on getting your criminal background check from your home country.
Yeah.
Because it depends where you live, how complicated it is, but in Canada, because of the privacy laws there, it's extremely difficult. It was 34 pages long for the two of us. Lots of processes of getting things notarized, like getting our ID notarized. And then, because it's all in Albanian when they notarize it, because they won't just stamp the ID, the photocopy of the ID, they actually want us to, they prepare a letter matching the ID, they stamp them together so that you can see the stamp transfers on both page. And then you have to go and you have to get a legal...
like a notarized
translator, a certified translator who has another stamp. So they translate it all back to English so that the RCMP for us, our federal government, will accept all these documents. In addition to that, you have to send them all kinds of photos, fill in all kinds of forms, lots of photocopies of things, and then that whole process is quite extensive. And we had to use a company that allows our fingerprints that you remember we got at the police station. We were able to get them digitally scanned and then sent on our behalf to the RCMP. And then they receive all the paperwork back, like the certificates, on our behalf. They will email them and courier them to us. But then we have to get them notarized and translated to Albanian when they do come in.
There's a lot.
We had an email this week, so from the RCMP saying we've received your fingerprints, we're in process, but it can take up to 22 business days, and do not contact us until past that 22 business days. But online it says it typically takes 3 business days.
I believe it's usually 22 if you have a criminal.
No,
No?
22 weeks.
Oh.
If you have a criminal background already, it's
I
going to
see.
take 22 weeks. They want to extensively run your
Yeah,
fingerprints
you're
all over the
going
place.
through all the systems.
If you
at
have
that
no
point.
criminal background check, they're asking for 22 business days maximum for the whole process, including you getting it. Because they send it through regular mail to the Global ID service people, who will then scan and send to us and courier to us. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's 22, but it's 22 weeks or 22 days. But also on their website, typical is 3 days, 72 hours they only take. Then they will mail it to us. So it's up to Canada Post after that.
Yeah, so to reiterate, it is probably better if you get your fingerprints done in your home country and just bring them here, because outside documents are, like, they can last up to 6 months.
Yeah.
They're valid for 6 months
So you
here.
can come if you had fingerprints and you need if your background check has been completed within the last 6 months, it's valid.
It's valid here, so that is definitely the route
The
we
easiest
would
way.
recommend.
And then have it translated to Albanian with a certified translator.
Yeah, but that can be done here easily.
Yeah. Well, you still have to prove chain of custody, but either way, the good thing is it is possible. Just start that early as possible. Get the ball rolling, and at least you'll be way ahead of the game. Because if you only have 30 days from arrival to get all this done, if the fingerprints take 45 days, the whole process, or whatever it takes, obviously that's not going to work. Now, there is a key trick to residency.
A little cheat.
Yeah, a little
Okay,
cheat.
you can
So yes, if you're from any country other than the United States, that you're only going to get 90-day visa to be here. And you have only 30 days your first 30 days to apply for residency, which in many places residency is a very long-term thing. No, literally, if you just want to stay a few more months, you have to apply for residency.
Right.
The minimum is the 1 year. And so that's what we're doing. We're just doing a 1 year residency just to stay longer than 3 months. It's a little crazy, but if you pass your 30 days, go to one of the borders over here that are open, basically anybody but Greece and Italy, cross over, stay 24 hours, come back over, they'll swipe your passport again, and therefore your 30 days restarts.
Yeah.
Your 90 days doesn't restart. You have to leave the country for 90 days in order to get that to restart.
Yeah.
But this 30-day process restarts at 30 days. Okay.
Very, very intriguing
Right.
kind of loophole, but it's useful.
Yeah. So now we'll go through this. So in order to get residency here, you either have to be self-employed, own a business, that kind of thing, and go and register a business here and get a VAT number, a VAT or a tax number, or have a job here in the country. And so therefore you will have to get an employment application, and you have to go to the job center and get it all completed. And so you need one of those two things: either have a business, which, as you saw, very cheap to open a business, 80 cents.
Exactly.
But, their office hours and all that is a little, and it was born in, the original one they filled in, they said it was born in 1900.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulate me on my 121st birthday or something.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And so that, and then the weird thing is we notice it, we go back and oh no, you can only make one change in the system per day. We registered you today with the wrong date. And therefore we can't change it till tomorrow.
Yeah. It's so weird. So if you have a couple mistakes, it'll take a couple different days, to
Really?
fix it.
really strange. So
Yeah,
anyway, we got that
wild.
fixed, but it was a couple more days, like that whole process there. And then they forgot to put her, because for the business, she is one of the employees, they put off no employees. So that took another process. But if you're starting a business, you also have to have an economist, which is an accountant. And then you go to the accountant. The accountant makes further changes like that, adding employees, that kind of thing. And to give you an idea of cost, it is about 15 Canadian dollars, or about 12 euros per month for an accountant. And he takes care of all your stuff. He tells you, okay, this is what you need to collect and everything, and you hand it in, and he files your taxes for you and everything else. So it's really, really cheap. In Canada, you would never get an accountant for a business for that kind of money, right? But that isn't a necessary process. The accountant, at least that we have, doesn't know any English, but luckily we have people that come with us and help us out and translate. Another thing is you need your 4 photos. Now you're going to need this for many different processes. These are subsets everywhere. Like the employment office, well, we need 4 photos. And another one says, well, we need 4 photos. So you'll be getting a lot of photos done. Just going to be a thing. Go in there and say, I need 16.
Yeah.
And you'll be covered.
Or if you go back to the same photo studio, they have your photos still saved.
That's right. And they just print them.
Luckily, we did that
didn't have to take her picture again, yeah.
And so it was super
the police
quick.
need pictures for your passport, for your fingerprints. You're going to need the job center needs pictures. The application is going to need pictures. In Canada, they need Canada-sized passport pictures. So that was another set of pictures. So there's a lot of pictures. Another one was a photocopy of your valid travel document. So that is your passports, obviously.
Any way you got in, any travel type documents.
Oh, I thought that was another one.
No,
Okay.
this is one.
Yeah, so your valid travel document, and I believe you have to show how you got your plane tickets or whatever that you came in with. I'm not sure on that, but I kept them. So I have them. I'm going to include them because it says how you got into the country. So
yeah.
Makes me wonder. Another one was proof of housing. So in our case, ours has a blueprint of the floor plan because there is a minimum of 55 square meters that you must rent in order to be considered a residence. Not really an issue for us. We have a very, very, very big place.
Amazing place.
And we'll have a tour out very, very soon, probably by tomorrow sometime. And and then a photo of the building that you're in. And then also, if you have a business, you got to have a picture of your business. So here is a little weird because there's no zip codes, there's no postal codes. Addresses are kind of like...
iffy.
They're iffy.
They're very iffy.
They're very iffy. It could be just a road and 4 buildings down. I don't know. So anyway, that's why they asked for a picture of the building so that they actually know where you live. The next one was your criminal background check, we talked about already, and then your health insurance. So health insurance here, so they can go to the hospital or whatever, is actually super cheap. And, there's a couple big companies. It took a long time. We sat in there. I fell asleep.
I almost fell asleep, though. I was
did
on
fall
the
asleep.
verge of, I was just like, this chair is getting comfier and comfier as she types, okay?
Oh, yeah. And she printed, we have our copies, which is 4 of these, so maybe 20, 30 pages. And then she printed her own version, so there's another 20, 30 pages.
Yeah, we used the whole tree.
We used the tree. And the total cost for an entire year of health insurance here is 50 euros per person. 50 euros per person.
It beats a lot of...
Hello,
our
people in America.
insurance.
How's that going for you?
Yeah.
Another thing is... Let's see, your certificate of employment or work permit. So that's from the employment office. You take your job information, and that's a whole other list that we got from them. And for that one, you need your business registration if you have your own business. You need your tax and your VAT, a photocopy of it, so that you can prove that you're going to be paid taxes here. You have to have photocopies of your passport. You need 5 photos, not 4. 5.
My
this
mistake. Time, okay?
5 at this level. Then you have to have a labor office declaration. Not sure how to get that yet, but we have the girl probably is going to be taking care of that for us. And if you don't have your own business, then you need an employee contract. So your employer provided a contract for your business. You have to have a bank deposit of $10,000 for employers, or 10,000 lek, not dollars.
Yeah, not
which is
dollars.
$100. You got to put
Yeah,
$100
yeah.
in your business account, and that's it. And if you're just an employee, you must have 6,000 lek in your bank account. So
$60.
60 Canadian dollars.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
euros. It's like 40 euros. So it's not very much money. You have to prove you have a bank account for this. The next one is your residence permit. So the residency that we're filling in here is technically you have to get that first before you can get this other part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how we're both doing that yet, but we'll find out. And then the tax certificate. Now, if you're brand new, obviously they can see you're brand new. You've never worked here before. They're not going to ask for past anything. But say you have had a business here for many years, but you never got residency. You just go back to Greece and you have a business here, and you just come every few months every year. And so that part there, you will have to prove that you don't owe any taxes in your business that you have here from before you were resident. So all of this gives you that other document that you need for there. Then you have your business certificate, nice and easy. It's just when you register your business, they give you a certificate. And so
Do you have to frame it still?
That's the VAT number. So when you get your VAT, just like at home, you get we have HST certificate. Your businesses are supposed to post them on the wall. And so I'll get a certificate. It hasn't come yet.
Wow.
It takes a couple days, and you put it on the wall. Now that's more for people who do business to the public, because I do everything online income, and I'm not open to the public. You have to have an appointment only. It's not technically required for me, but if you opened a coffee shop or whatever, you have to display that, showing that yes, I pay taxes. That's okay. So then you have, we said this, the photo of the exterior of the house. So the other one was the blueprint of the house. Here are the rules, though. Again, must apply within 30 days of entry. You
Documents from Albania valid for 6 months.
Yeah, and we
I
talked
better
about
mention
that.
one.
Okay, so we're gonna skip that.
Yeah. They have we translated into Albanian notarized.
Yeah, and so anything that you get in English, just remember, everything you get will have to be translated back to Albanian.
Yeah.
Also, when you're doing your lease for your apartment or whatever, you must have it notarized. That's a big thing. It has to be notarized.
Everything is notarized here.
Right. And if it's not notarized, then the guy's not going to have to pay taxes on it. But tough luck, you need proof that you pay, so it must be notarized. And so the notary does a huge amount of work, by the way. It's many, many pages. Huge contract. And then, because it's all in Albanian, they have to bring an English translator over who's going to charge you 5,000 lek, so 50 Canadian dollars, to read it all to you and then stamp everything, saying as a translator, they've translated it and you agreed in English, essentially. So you're going to use these translators a couple times. Like if you have a business, you have to do it for your lease for your shop or whatever, and then you got to do it for your lease here. So you're going to get used to the translator.
She's really nice.
She's really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. But probably the most expensive process in the whole thing is paying the translator.
Yeah.
Most other things are going to cost you very little money. Maybe like the notaries are only charging about 2,000 lek. So.
And I also wonder how, because like English is a very common language around the world. If you speak a less common language here, how difficult would it be to get a translator?
She does 12 different languages. Yeah, they're all on her window there. So there are other there's 3 translators in town. I'm sure they cover most of them.
Yeah.
But yes, you might have to go to the capital city to get some languages that
just if you speak like a very not well
common.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we should point it out that it isn't very common to find English here. There are people that serve to tourists that will have limited English.
Of course.
We have some friends here who are very good at English. They can read it, that kind of thing. They do this for communication.
Yeah.
But on average, most people will not know much more than hello, actually
Yeah.
maybe just hello.
Yeah. I believe Italian is more popular here.
Italian and Greek.
Yeah.
Greek actually, I believe 60% of the population.
Oh,
It's
of
big
course.
Greek, but Greece is right there. So.
Yeah, you could swim to it if you were
You can
desperate
see it.
enough.
And where we were today, which we'll put out a video eventually, it was on the other side of the hill, and we had European Union people on the road checking our vehicles.
Yeah,
so,
we got stopped by like
yeah,
patrol.
which we'll talk about when we get to that video, of course. But anyway, so there,
Avash.
Avash, right? Exactly. See, she's catching on. So there you go. I know this is a little long-winded, but that's because the process is long-winded. It is extensive. We are finally, because they had a banking holiday on a Thursday, technically our 30 days it gets pushed one more day.
Yeah.
So we're okay to file it tomorrow. Tomorrow all these documents go in, and then they're going to kick it back. We know this, and say, where's the criminal background check? At least we're in the system. We know Canada's going to be a little while. So then at least we're in the system, and it's considered
shown that we
did
applied.
it within 30 days.
Yeah.
And then if there was any issues where they just said, no, you're past your 30 days, well, we have the 30-day reset.
We're going on a 24-hour vacation.
And my understanding is Greece might open soon. So if it does, then we can just hop over there and go shopping for one night, right? Because they have IKEA over there. None of that's over here.
Kia.
Okay, guys, so that's this process. There's so many things we could tell you about Albania, but we'll keep them into specific videos. This one was probably most important for most people because I got to tell you, if you aren't considering coming to Albania, and you might want to reconsider, because it is really beautiful here, and we consider it the freest country in the world right now. So there's a reason why so many people are trying to get here. I know there's a lot of countries where you just can't get here right now because there's no flights going in and out of places. So it's a little difficult, but it's well worth it. And we went through hell to get here. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are here and we are enjoying it.
we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Farewell.